Ladies and gentlemen, would you please welcome the man who broke Prince William's middle finger? It's Mr. Ian Lee.
I see. Got it. Now I got it. Well... Thank you. Bless you, you're very kind. But I certainly did warn Prince William not to put it there. That's the joke. Hello and welcome to the 11 o'clock show on Tuesday, the 13th of April. With me, as always, is the delicious, the delightful, the de-lovely, the de-Daisy Donovan! And joining us live from HMS Invincible, somewhere in the Adriatic, it's our very own war correspondent, the demonic, the demented, the disturbed, Mackenzie Crook. Hello, Mackenzie. More from him later. Now, did you spot Tommy Vance's name in the Sunday Times list of the country's richest people this week? Well, no, nor did I, which is why he's still doing voiceovers for us. God bless him, yep, it's Tommy Vance with his news slam.
Tuesday, April the 13th, and Madeleine Albright meets Russian Foreign Minister Igor Ivanov in a hotel in Oslo. Why? To prevent World War III or to have an illicit shag? My guess, to prevent World War III. From a goodwill bearer to an NHS carer. And the government sets up a 24-hour nurses free phone. About time! It currently costs me £2 a minute cheap rate to speak to a nurse, but it does make me feel a whole lot better. From Dialer Dolly to a supermarket trolley, and Tesco's are winning the supermarket war. I prefer Londis. A can of Tennant Super is 4p cheaper, and that's money I can spend on other things, like vodka.
Well, that was Tommy Vance with his Titanic news slam, but what about the smaller boats of news, the canoes, the rubber dinghies? Well, to keep them afloat, here's our Red Top Roundup. The Women's Institute has shocked the country with their latest calendar, which shows them flower arranging, cake baking and painting naked. We've got March 2000 here. Now, all that does is remind me not to eat too flowery baps. Wow, what a lady. Prostitutes are now providing welcome breaks for people travelling on the motorway by setting up brothels as alternative service stations. This brings a whole new meaning to signs telling drivers to pull off the motorway now. And finally, Russian Premier Boris Yeltsin is to be impeached for causing the collapse of the Soviet Union, illegally shelling his own parliament, killing his own people and the war in Chechnya. Now, these are obviously heinous crimes for which Yeltsin should be punished, but I still think sticking a cigar in a lady's gusset is much, much worse. Daisy.
The world of fashion moves so quickly that by the time I finish this sentence, flares will have been in and out of vogue an incredible 76 times. Wow. Later in the show, Ali G gets the latest fashion news as he raps with top designer Tomasz Starzewski. Here's a clip.
Can you see from the way a material hangs if the lady got a shaven haven?
There's 60,000 starving refugees sitting in a field in Yugoslavia. Children who've lost their homes, their parents, their future. But now, thank the Lord, the tabloids are there to help. It seems that tabloid journalists aren't the filthy, money-grabbing gutter snipes we always thought they were. They're actually humanitarians on the scale of Bono and Sting. The papers are all currently engaged in their own war to see who can be the most helpful in Kosovo.
Now, the Mirror has mercifully sent the refugees all the staples for survival. First aid, tents, rice, and of course, shampoo. Yeah, the Mirror has declared war on damaged hair and split ends in the former Yugoslavia. Well done, that Mirror.
The Daily Star have surpassed even this valiant effort by sending the British artillery two much-needed 20-pounders in the form of topless models Jordan and Michelle Clack. And the fact that this terrible war rages on without an end in sight is not lost on those girls. As you can see, Michelle Clack is literally overcome by the gravity of the situation.
The The Daily Mail shocked the nation today with the tale of PC John Lee, fined £1,000 yesterday for faking witness statements. Why did he do it? Was he corrupt? Was he accepting bungs from bent snitches? No, he was so lazy he just couldn't be asked. But what sort of coppers would the public prefer? Never one to miss the chance to mess around with a Bobby's helmet. Ian went on the beat this morning to find out.
So PC John Lee, the lazy Mancunian copper, has made up evidence about a hit-and-run incident. But is that really so wrong? Surely it's better to get an accurate made-up statement rather than be forced to rely on idiot eyewitnesses. And I've come here to London to see what people think. When do you think it's right for the police to make up their evidence?
You mean, when do I stop beating my wife? That's one of those questions, is it?
When did you start beating your wife?
I have beaten my wife, and that's the whole implication of the argument.
OK, supposing there's a nonce hanging around the school playground. It's obvious he's a nonce, but there's no evidence. Is it OK to make up evidence then?
I think so, yeah. I think in that instance it's okay.
Supposing your house had been broken into, vandalised and defecated in, you knew the man that shit in your living room, but you didn't quite have enough evidence to put him away. Would it be OK for the police to make up their evidence then?
No.
So it would seem that people are fairly sure they would never help make up evidence. But maybe they act differently if they are asked directly by a local lazy Bobby, our very own PC Ian Lee. There's a security camera that's just up there on the wall there. What happened is it's filmed a robbery that took place here a few days ago, but there's a couple of bits missing from it. The criminal didn't look dissimilar to you. I couldn't just chase you, just from here, just around past that sign, could I? So it'll come up on the security camera footage there was a chase involved. Would that be all right? Away you go. Come back here. It's on my radio, there's actually a situation taking place in that building over there. You couldn't pop in there and have a look, tell us what's going on, because if I go in there dressed like that, it's going to kick off and go apeshit. Well, you know, I've got a wife and 2 kids, I don't want to get beaten up. If you just pop in there, see how many men are in there, see if you can see any guns, then come back and let us know, and I'll alert the authorities. I'm doing a stakeout on this building here, armed response unit. Thing is, I'm busting for a pee, and I'm supposed to be meeting my wife for a drink. I couldn't leave you in charge of my gun, could I? And if you see it, seriously, I'm busting for a piss. Listen, if you take this... So there we have it, and no wonder the police are forced to make up evidence if the public are as helpful to them as they have been to me today. This has been Ian Lee, The 11 O'Clock Show, London. This weekend, NATO lined up the biggest air and sea armada since the Second World War and sent them to the Balkans. The largest and most powerful ship in the fleet is the aircraft carrier HMS Invincible. And on that very ship is our very own war correspondent, Mackenzie Crook. Are you there, Mackenzie?
Ahoy, ahoy, Ian. Yes, I'm here.
Mackenzie, what can you tell us about the mission?
Well, we're out here in the Adriatic on a mission to restore peace to the Balkans and bring harmony to the region.
And how exactly are we going to do that?
We're going to bomb the shit out of them.
Now, there's been a lot of speculation in the press over here about the possibility of sending in ground force. Can you shed any light on that?
Ground force, yes, I can. I can confirm that Alan Titchmarsh is on Amber Alert. And Charlie Dimmock's knocking about on the ship somewhere.
Now, being out at sea, it must get a bit lonely, Mackenzie, if you know what I mean.
I know what you mean. Well, actually, no, Ian, I've been recognised from telly and I'm getting a bit of How's Your Father every night.
Really? I didn't know there were any wrens on board.
No, there aren't.
Well, thank you, Mackenzie. We'll have more from Mackenzie later on, as will half the crew, it seems.
They say that a week is a long time in politics. Well, they're wrong. I've timed it and it's exactly the same length. But when I spoke to MPs Austin Mitchell and Martin Bell, the time seemed to fly by. Ding dong, ring my bell. Here I am with Martin Bell. Thank you very much for talking to us today. Austin Powers, international man of mystery. Austin Mitchell, international man of politics. Thank you very much for talking to us today. When you say something, who says it?
I think sometimes when you... When I say something? Yeah.
Do you say it?
Oh, yeah. I say whatever is on my mind to say.
Now tell me, how is being in government different from being in opposition? Are you peeping through the doctor's curtains?
Well, it's much more boring, actually, in government.
How do you get up the greasy pole?
Well, I'm hardly on it. I think
Where are you on the greasy pole?
I'm way down the bottom of my own greasy pole because I'm not trying to found a movement or a party. I'm just trying to survive and do a little bit of good for 4 years of a parliament.
Do you think it's a question of if the horse says dance, will the donkey tango?
Yes, with reservations. What the hell are you talking about?
When you're up against it, do you chew the rug?
Every now and again something really difficult happens. The press will go for you.
And then you munch the carpet?
No, if you've got anything that they're asking you about, you tell the absolute truth.
Look, politics is like surfboarding. Let me give you the analogy. The correct analogy is it's surfboarding. You're paddling water on your surf.
Have you caught the tube?
No, you haven't caught the tube, you haven't caught the wave.
I'm happy that we don't have to make this decision in the term of the only parliament in which I'm serving.
You do not think that we're staring at the chicken's throat?
Oh, like on this issue?
Yeah.
I'm persuadable.
We're going the other way. You can lose out. Suddenly the wave comes and you've got to balance on it. This is what Tony Blair's done very successfully. Go on,
So,
good.
yeah.
That's right, go on. That's right.
X, Z, what's missing? When I say X, Z, what letter's missing?
Okay,
X.
You're asking me to...
What is the letter that
Okay,
I
why?
missed
You want
out?
to say why?
Is that a question you often ask?
I don't say... I did start with. I said, why on earth have I ever got myself into this?
Before the break, just time to expose supposed baby boffin Kaya Harridge, who yesterday became Britain's youngest Mensa member, aged just 6. Now, we got a bit suspicious of this clever clogs kid. The answers she gave to the Mensa questions are all correct. But are these really the answers of an infant? For example, when asked to continue this series of numbers, 1, 5, 2, 5, 3, young Kaya gave a correct answer of 5. But a genuine 6-year-old would answer...
Why do men have willies? Women don't have willies. Do you have a willy? What's a willy? Which, by coincidence, is also the same answer that Mackenzie gave. So, well done to you, Mackenzie.
Now, this self-styled child is obviously not a 6-year-old genius at all. She's just a clever midget lady who likes showing off. Think about it. It's not the first time we've all been hoodwinked. See you after the break. Just time to give you the answers to last week's quiz on EastEnders star turned slinky pop soulstress Marty McCutcheon, shown here with her left breast. The answer to question 1 was Tiffany, or Tiff, ex-barmaid at the Queen Vic. The answer to question 2 was yes, most lads would, given half a chance. As would Pat Butcher, probably. The answer to question 3, now all of you got this. The answer was, of course, Slim Fast. But we would have accepted Weight Watchers or, as a last resort, wiring her jaw. And finally, question 4, our picture round. Fooled quite a lot of you. This close-up wasn't, as most of you thought, corned beef or orange peel. It was, in fact, Martine's leg. And today's winner is a Miss Anita Dobson, a former chart topper and ex-barmaid of the Queen Vic. Spooky. Congratulations, Miss Dobson. You win a walk-on part as Widow Twanky in Aladdin at the Lyceum Peterborough. Well done.
So, the police finally caught the Mardi Gras bomber, and last week he confessed he was guilty. Now, however, he's claiming that part of his brain is missing and he needs psychiatric help. Now, many people are dismissing this as complete bollocks, but just take a look at this picture. If that isn't the face of a man with some brain missing, I don't know what is. But our guest does, so please welcome him. He's a consultant in psychological medicine from St Bartholomew's Hospital. He's brain expert, Dr. Martin Deal. Now, Martin, you are a genuine brain expert, aren't you?
I have been told as much.
That doesn't fill me with confidence to start with, if I was going my brain. Edgar Pearce is claiming that he doesn't have all his brain. Can you tell me exactly which part of the brain is it that stops you trying to firebomb Sainsbury's?
Well, First of all, I don't know anything about the Pierce case and can't comment specifically on it, but in general, it's a diffuse thing. It's the frontal lobes of the brain particularly that alter personality. And it can make people sort of paranoid, and it can make people sort of, the nastiest aspects of your personality become sort of coarser and sharper. So if you're a bit miserable, you become a sort of cantankerous git.
Couldn't all criminals just claim, oh, I've got a bit of my brain missing, that's what made me mug that old lady and piss on a wall?
Yeah. Yeah, there's a guy trying to get off the death penalty in the States at the moment because he's saying his relatives are all criminals as well, and it's the way he's born and his genes and not him.
Now, in the film One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Jack Nicholson had a lobotomy. Couldn't we just do that to crooks, just cut bits of their brains out and make them good?
No, it doesn't work. Makes the public feel better sometimes, but it doesn't...
Would you ever consider trying that at home in your laboratory, just to see what happens?
Depends who it was on. Depends who it was on. I can think of a few people I'd like to try it on, but...
Are you threatening me? I don't mind. I'm well up for it if you want to have a go, if you want to take a bit of my brain out. But
well, we'll see, we'll see.
Do you keep brains in a jam jar?
Personally, no.
Do you know people that do?
I know one or two that do, yeah.
Any famous brains in a jam jar? Because I heard that Terry Wogan's brain is in a jam jar, and he gets it out only when he needs it. Is that...
It wouldn't surprise me at all.
Right. Now, final question. From what we said, do you think it's theoretically possible for someone to function apparently normally with only half a brain?
Well, you've talked about tabloid journalists earlier this evening.
Well, I'll stop you there because we've got an example. Would she look a bit like this, do you think? Kelly Brook there, just a little joke, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much, Dr. Martin Deal. Thanks a lot for coming in.
A report in today's Mirror reveals that the war effort has stepped up a gear. Plans are afoot to unleash the most deadly, vile weapon of mass destruction yet.
It's a Michael Jackson charity record. In an exclusive interview, the Pixie Nose star reveals how he weeps for the children of Kosovo, adding that he couldn't bear to live in a world without kids, saying, "They inspire me in all I do," he explains. "Every song I write, every dance I perform," which must be why he does this. Oh! In the same interview, he revealed he has a deep-rooted distrust of the press based on years of sneering treatment by journalists who, he claims, do not understand him.
He's a 40-year-old man who loved the company of strangers' kids. He has a best friend who's a monkey. He lived in an iron lung, and he fancies Liz Taylor.
Of course we understand him. He's mental.
Fashion. It's the difference between seeing someone dressed as a gas man and saying, "Are you here to read the meter?" or saying, "Wow, you look really trendy. Where did you get that gas man outfit? It's so now." To find out more about the fickle world of fashion, we sent our voice of youth, Ali G, to meet designer Tomasz Dąbrowski.
Yeah, don't stop. It goes out to the crew up top. That's it.
Booyaka! Today we is talking about fashion because it ain't only on the streets, it is also in the shops. And I is here with none other than my main man Tomasz Dąbrowski, that be a main fashion designer. Now fashion, it well important, innit?
Yeah, it's important. We all like clothes, we all want to look good.
For real. Me respecting what you was wearing now, your threads, you styling it, you rocking. What is that made out of? Can I have a little...
Hair.
More hair?
Yeah.
More hair from the muff?
No, mohair is a type of wool that is woven.
Do you put your label all over the front?
No.
Do you put it just subtle down the
I
side?
only put it inside. I think it's vulgar to
Where
see
do you
a label.
put it?
Inside.
Why don't you put it on the front?
Because I think it's vulgar.
But if you put it on the outside, then you was selling the clothes and you was also advertising the clothes. You was knobbing two ladies with one Johnny.
It's not what I'm about.
Will you make clothes for any woman, though?
If she likes my style, if she likes my look, I'm very happy to make clothes. I mean, I don't have a problem with that.
What, even if there is mingers, would you still make clothes for them?
So what?
Mingers, if they have, you know, nice personality. You know, nice personality, you know, face like a Rottweiler's that.
I don't have that discrimination. I'd find that very offensive.
What about Versace? Do you rate him?
I think that Versace, I think that Gucci is the Versace of today.
Was you happy when he got...
Yeah, because I think it's a tragedy for anyone to be murdered.
Aye, but there was less competition.
It has nothing to do with competition. I think that it's a great tragedy. I wouldn't wish that upon anybody.
Me heard it was Calvin Klein that did it. Is that true?
Highly unlikely.
So, what do you think about the Wonder Bra?
Changed a lot of women's lives.
Do you think it should be banned?
Whatever for?
Because you think you is getting something and then you don't get it.
But if you're stupid enough to think you're going to get it, it's your fault.
The other week, though, me was in this club and me saw this girl and she, you know, she had a bad face, whatever, but she had these serious Babylons, man, and me was grinding and me was doing the bogle, man. And me took her home, me unleashed them, and they disappear. They're gone. They're one on the floor, one behind the back. That ain't fair.
She's a good actor. You got to give it to her.
Well, me couldn't
You got to give it to her that she pulled you.
Me did give it to her, but me didn't feel good about giving it to her. You know what I mean? All right? Check it out. Buy your Stajewski. Start wearing the Stajewski. Start keeping it real and styling it. Big up yourself.
Thank you.
Nice.
Fantastic. Now, we've just got time to see how our war correspondent, Mackenzie Crook, is getting along on the HMS Invincible. Mackenzie, are you there?
Yes, Mahati, loud and clear.
So, you've been on board for a while. What entertainment is being laid on for our boys?
Oh, well, nothing but the best, Ian. Last night, Jane McDonald from The Cruise flew in and performed one of her hits in the cabaret.
So, what are the latest developments?
Well, to be honest, Ian, I don't know. It's one big party out here. Last night in the bar, I got really friendly with a rear admiral, and this morning I woke up in the officer's mess. I always get the damn patch.
Thank you very much, Mackenzie. Our brave war correspondent there, Mackenzie Crook. Never afraid to get in the firing line in a sticky situation. Now, before we go, on a more serious note, we'd just like to take a moment of your time to highlight the plight of one of life's forgotten old soldiers.
Bill Roach, who has been forced to declare himself bankrupt after a long-running legal battle to prove that he's not dull. Roach isn't a man known for backing losers, but now he needs your help. Just £1 of your money could help buy him a shoehorn, some birdseed, or a cardigan with leather elbow patches. And who wouldn't like to see this old man smile, even just once?
So please send us £1 in an everyday dull envelope marked, "Does Bill Roach bore you shitless?" appeal. The 11 o'clock show, P.O. Box 30,002, London, SE1 8WW. Thanks so much for your time. Good night.
Good night.